If I just listen to him, I won't end up with that problem. Oh, oh. If I focus a little and start rereading the Bible, don't wanna end up in it. I'm tired of messing with it. I need some help at winning. Not going round in circles. Not going round. Not repeating the cycle. Said I'm not repeating, no. Not going round in circles. I ain't got time for no circles. Not repeating the cycle. No, no, no. Yeah. Gotta move forward, come let's go. Much more to the world you show. Many people, you will be. It's time for you to be really free. Can't give up and I won't let go. Come real far, go get some more. Who gonna stop this? Get me out. Run to the church to scream it out. Don't wanna end up in it. I'm tired of messing with it. I need some help at winning. Not going round in circles. Not going round. Not repeating the cycle. Said I'm not repeating, no. Not going round in circles. I ain't got time for no circles. Not repeating the cycle. No, no, no. Yeah. Gotta move forward, come let's go. Much more to the world you show. Many people you will be. Not going round in circles. Said I'm not going round. Not repeating the cycle. Not going round in circles. No. Not repeating the cycle. No, 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 no. Yeah. Gotta move forward, come let's go. Much more to the world you show. Much more. Many people you will be. It's time for you to be really free. Gotta move forward, come let's go. Much more to the world you show. Many people you will be. It's time for you to be really free. Gotta move forward, come let's go. Much more to the world you show. No more circles. Many people you will be. It's time for you to be really free. Everything posted or discussed on this platform has already been discussed somewhere else. So don't get mad at me, get mad at whoever let it out first. If you have a problem with being discussed on this here platform, then that's what you need to do. You need to, number one, keep your privacies out of public during cases. Don't go live. You don't want me to talk about it. Don't post it. Number two, treat folk right. So don't get mad with you and go live about you or post about you. Number three, keep your hoes happy. That way they won't never go off online about you. And do a wrong right. That means keep it in privacy so it don't never go out. And you won't end up on this here show. All right, let's go ahead with the show.
There ain't nowhere else I wanna be. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah,
And welcome to Larry Live. It's Monday night, and we're always here every single Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What I need for you to do right now is to share with everybody and let them know that we are on right now on YouTube and on Facebook and on Paradigm Scope. And I forgot to click that box, so we ain't live on the app. That's my fault. I just forgot. I just didn't do it. And now also I need for you to hit like and to share. Let everybody know that we are on right now. We just heard from the president. In fact, I left that stream to come over here and do my show. So I'm going to start with the
top of this show with just talking about all things pandemic, because what's going on right now is really at the apocalyptic level that is happening in our world. Don't know how long it's going to be staying like this, but as long as it's happening, I'm going to always be giving you the updates. So you got to make sure that you text Larry Live with no spaces to 33222 so that I can text you before I go live if I don't forget. I'm sorry some of you just getting the text, you done missed the intro and everything because I forgot. This is how it goes. Sometimes I forget. It ain't but one person. It's a one-man show. Set it. The helper out on the other end to be clicking around. That's it. It's just me. So sometimes I do forget some things. All right. I also want for you to make sure that you call your neighbor and your friend that like the show, even the ones that don't like the show, and tell them to come over here and listen, because we're going to have a conversation tonight. And the main thing I'm going to be talking about is really how the church is responding to this whole pandemic. So make sure that you're connected with me so you don't miss any show, every conversation. Go ahead and sign up over there on Patreon if you want to support every time that we everything that we do here on this platform. And if you just want to support when you watch, that's fine. Go. If you could go to the movies, you would be paying around $15, $16, $22, $25 to go watch. So you might as well just hit our Cash App. It ain't got to be a whole lot, but do something that says, I value this platform and the funny and the faith, the Pentecostal and the perverted that you bring through this entertainment medium. All right. You can also mail us. You can mail us P.O. Box 244224, Atlanta, Georgia 30324 if you want to contribute that way. Or go to LarryReidLive.com and click donate. All right, we're about to have the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all at the top of this here show, I'm going to say some stuff that you do not like. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. We are not going to agree. But that's what we love so much about this digital entertainment news and talk show, is because we don't have to agree, and we don't fall out when we don't agree. And I'm going to have to talk about some people tonight because of what they put out there in the public communications that I actually like, and we are not going to agree. And I'm going to clown them like I do everybody else, and hopefully they understand. I think we passed that part to where we understand. But it is what it is, because I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. Then I'm going to open up the lines and let y'all say what you want to say. And tonight I'm going to try to be here just an hour, because I got to come back to you guys on, I think, Mike DeMar, definitely Thursday, because I want to have Dr. Sharma, the holistic, the naturopathic doctor, about what we can be eating to boost our immune system while they find out what in the whole hell and the heaven is in the air giving us the corona. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is airborne or aerosol. Don't y'all be listening to what these folk be saying on the internet. Now, Presbutana is live right now, but don't watch him, watch me. Right now, he's doing the entertainment part of his address he's been doing every day. Now, I am going to say this. I call him Presbutana. He holds the seat president. He's a businessman and an entertainer, hence Presbutana, because this man is entertaining as all get out. I find myself sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for him to have questions to be asked that he can react and act out and give us TV. This man is all kinds of funny to me. The more I watch, if I be honest, the more I like him, because I like anybody that make me laugh. And it makes me laugh. Every time I watch, he tickles me. Just a little piece before I even got up here, I watched it. He had me laughing when he ran away from that white woman because she said she had a fever on Saturday. Yes, have y'all been seeing Burke? The doctor stand up there, and the other one, Fauci, Anthony, he calls him Tony sometimes, be up there talking. And I've been looking at her the last few days. I said, she looks like she's weary and worn. Worn well. I said, what in the world is going on with her? And then she come up out her mouth, and I was texting another prophet at the same time, and they had said the same thing. Then she said I had a fever Saturday. It was a slight fever, but I still stayed away on Sunday and came back today because I just wanted to make sure. as they were trying to explain to us the latest update that we have received from the press Buchanan. The latest update is that this whole 15 days, stay away from this person, stay from that person, stay from this person, stay from that person. Well, he has postponed this whole 15-day period and allow it to last longer because they feel as though the more that we stay away from each other, that it will slow the spread of the virus. And then at that time, they'll be able to get all these people in place to make these masks. They call them PPEs. That's personal protective gear. I ain't saying that right, but you get what I'm saying. It's protective gear. Masks, gowns, that kind of going on. And they feel like the more protective, the personal protective, what is it? What's the PPE? I'm going to look in the comments. But I think we on a minute and a half delay tonight. So whatever I see you guys say, it's what's the PPE stand for, Nancy? Personal protective equipment. There you go. I said gear. That's what it is. So yeah. So let me tell y'all about all that. Now the huge problem that we got at this moment is what is it? What is it? What people say it's skipping? Okay, well, I don't know if people ain't telling me that it's skipping. I don't see that it's skipping. And it may be something that is going on with the feed. I don't know. I don't know if the internet is about to shut down because there's so many of us home and at the house. And so now I don't know. I don't see YouTube saying it. YouTube nothing. Okay. But it's something that's going on with Facebook orations. All right. So make sure you click like because I do know my Facebook page is going through some changes because I keep getting all the notifications so people keep reporting my mess. So if you on Facebook, there are about 600 of you up there now. All 600 of you hit like and that will strengthen the feed more than likely. Okay. Now let me go ahead and tell you this. So let me tell you what's going on. We got a few problems as it relates to this pandemic. And we're going to get into the whole church issue. I'm going to run a video, let you hear what 3 different preachers are saying concerning the church closings. And we're going to get into that conversation. But first, I want to talk Korah. The first issue we have with Korah, number 1, is that anybody that come into contact with this virus will get it. That's number 1. We don't have any defense when it comes to this virus because this virus originated with animals. Can y'all type that into the chat? Because there are a whole lot of conspiracies that's going around that just are not true. Now, y'all know I always do my job and research stuff before I come in here talking to you. So you would know what is the truth and what ain't the truth, even when it comes to these stories that be coming out. I am the go-to when it comes to a whole lot of different stuff. So believe me when I say I put those same skills forward to research as it relates to this coronavirus. Now, number 1, we don't know everything about this virus, but there are some things out there that people are passing around that I feel like will actually cause some folk to mess around, catch this thing, and to be in the whole mess. Number 1, what is happening in our world is apocalyptic, and it is a global pandemic. That means it is affecting the economy of the entire world. It is also affecting the way that the world operates. And in some instances, it is affecting how we are eating because there are actually some other flus that's showing up in some birds. At the same time, locusts is happening. So things are happening. Earthquakes happen in New York and in Utah. This stuff has happened before, but all of these things happening at this moment in this way makes it apocalyptic, of course, but it also makes it brand new and nobody knows. This particular flu that we have now, this COVID-19, which is some form of the SARS as well, this flu started with an animal, this unknown pneumonia. It started with an animal, the bat. Now, this is what the truth is. Now, a whole lot of people are saying a whole lot of different stuff. Somehow it was made in a lab and made over here. I do believe that there are some diseases and things that are made in the lab, and who knows? Who knows? There can be some very regular diseases that we get that was made up or something like that. Well, I don't know. But let's just focus on what we need to be focused on. Right now, we're dealing with the coronavirus, and it comes absolutely, they believe, scientists, from a bat. And they feel as though that this bat, and it happened in a little shop in Wuhan, China. And in this shop, it's like an open air shop. So you got all these meats and things together. And they have a tendency of packing these meats side by side. So what happened was, whatever this thing was that got into the bat, it wasn't because of Chinese people eating the bat. It was because of the packing and the mixing amongst the animals. And this actually was something that they said passed from the bat to 2 or 3 other animals, a chicken and also to the pig. But this is what ended up happening. What ended up happening because of the way that it jumped between the animals, somehow or another, a human contracted it. And when it got into human, it jumped really fast from human to human. It jumped faster from human to human than it do from animal to human or human to animal. Can animals get it? Yes, an animal can get it. But this is now amongst the humans, but it is an animal virus. And I'm just talking real plain about it so you can understand. Now, the common cold, which is coronavirus, discovered in the 60s. It's on the back of your Lysol can, but Lysol will not kill it. So buying Lysol, one thing that it will do by you buying the Lysol, it will clean and keep things disinfected and kill a whole lot of other germs that you don't really need to be dealing with right now with the Cora out, because the Cora get hold of you and you got a pre-existing condition like a cold, diabetes, or anything else going on. That thing get hold of you and take you on out of here. I have allergies. Allergy sufferers do not need to be getting Cora. That's already that's actually a respiratory. It causes a respiratory issue with breathing and also phlegm. But with allergies, it's actually an overexcited immune system. And the Cora virus affects our immune system, all of us, all humans, in a specific kind of way because it's an animal virus. So that means when your immune system recognizes this pathogen, recognizes this foreign thing that shows up in your body, what ends up happening, your immune system like, what in the whole hell in heaven is this here? We don't know what the day, if we got anything over there in the immunity system that we can fight this over here, and they'll be over there like, oh no, we ain't got no over here we can fight with this. We want to know what this is. This ain't nothing that been on nobody about it before. Well, I'm calling y'all over there, and y'all over there, and y'all come on with me, see over here, we can fight, come over here and fight this Cora that done showed up in the body, and we don't really know what this is. And so the immune system start trying everything up under the sun, trying to fight this thing because they don't know what it is. This ain't never showed up in no humans before. So that's really what's going on in the body. And so that thing, Cora, focus itself on the lungs and act just like the pneumonia. And before you know it, filling up the lungs, you can't even halfway breathe. And next thing you know, you got to get on a ventilator. And then you can give you steroids, some of everything, try to help your immune system. Depending on your immune system and the medicine working together, you may be able to pull through it. They're saying a whole lot of people are pulling through it, but some it kill quick, 2-3 days. Asthma sufferers, 2 days. Those with HIV, 3 days. Those you with diabetes, 5 days. Some make it to 8 after the symptoms show up. But this thing is aggressive, and there is no cure at all, and your immune system don't know what it is. For some people, they are discovering that when their immune system fight it, what they're trying to figure out is, can you actually take the blood? I tell you, this is just like a Hollywood movie. Can they take the blood from the person that done fought the thing off and put it in somebody else to help them fight the Cora? Because then the blood now has done made what it needs in order to keep this virus up out of you. This is very interesting to me. I'm telling you, this is like a zombie movie. A zombie movie where folk get the disease and then they go crazy. Because, with some people, depending on your pre-existing condition, the Cora virus can actually make you delirious and hysterical, to where you are fighting and manifesting like you're a pure zombie. Now, this is very interesting. It's like all these movies all these years was just prophetic. Could Google it, boom. But in the darn way, so that's number one problem that we have, because there ain't no vaccine. We don't know what in the world is supposed to be done with this here, and it jumped from person to person in the air. If you're in the same small space, that's why them folk on that ship was like sitting ducks, and everybody in prison are sitting ducks. Your cell ain't but 6 by 5? And just saying stand 6 people apart. When I know personally for being in jail, my darn self, that one time, is that you have 3-4 people in that little space. There ain't no way in the world that you can be kept free from the Cora. So if y'all want to go test them vaccines, once y'all start with the people that are the undesirables, which I feel like is what you're doing. I hate to even say that, but you know they're undesirables in our community. People that mess with cheering folk that kill other people, can kill our old folk. Start with doing them just in case they make them die. I'm not saying that we want anybody to die, but if they done killed somebody, it seems like to me, then what's the harm if we trying to save somebody else's life, if they sacrifice theirs for the greater good? But anyway, and so this is a full mess. So that's number one. Number two is that our we ain't got no hospitals to save millions of people all at one time and still save the regular people that get sick every day and die anyway. Like they said this year, it's supposed to be 50,000 people dying of just the common flu. So that's on top of the people that's going to end up dying because of the corona. Because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are people that are going to die. 43,000 people have been infected. Over half of those people come from the testing that is going on, about 40,000 people a day in New York. Now, so basically, all of these cases that are showing up, this number going up, and these deaths is 503, I think, right about now. And remember, I told you guys, always watch the website worldometer.info as opposed to waiting to see what they're saying on CNN, because this worldometer let you break it down to the country and tell you how many people died, how many deaths, and things of that nature. I believe if we got 43,000 people that are infected and half of them come from New York, this is what I think. We're going to see these diseases worse in places like New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta. I think Atlanta is a sleeping giant. I think when they start testing people by the thousands here, our numbers are going to look just like New York because we have an international airport. Chicago got that. Everybody go around the world from that place. I think anywhere you have this airport that goes in and out, and people go to different countries, these hubs, I think is where you're going to have your greatest. Also, Raleigh-Durham Airport, I think that's an issue. I used to live there. They fly a lot of times straight out of there to St. Martin, straight out of there to London. And London, shut down right now. They're in a stay in shelter. I think he just done that there, and then Germany, that woman done messed around and got sick. Her doctor brought her the corona, and so they quarantined her for 14 days to make sure, because some people take 14 days for the symptoms to show up. So all of you guys that went to church last Sunday and last weekend, all the different places you've been enjoying yourself, check in 14 days from now and see what you done got. This is how come I got to do this show today, talking about the church and this pandemic, and run this video to show y'all about what these pastors and stuff is saying, because I think we're divided on what you should be doing as a church or as a believer in the midst of this apocalyptic type kind of going on that we got going on. Okay, well, anyway, so what I need for you guys to do right now so that we can help this stream, I need everybody to hit like, I need everybody to hit share, everybody to hit like, and everybody to hit share so we can have the conversation to go on more on this here thing. And I'm sorry for not texting a whole bunch of y'all because I forgot. All right. So that's the first thing is we don't never seen this thing before. We ain't got no vaccine. Number two, what I said was, I forgot what number two was, but what I said was? Oh, yeah, about it being airborne. Okay, and the next thing that is a concern for me is because we don't have people that have, the hospitals. Ain't nobody know, they ain't what I said about airborne. I said with the hospitals, about that people we ain't got enough folk to take care of the people in the hospital. Because all these people gonna start getting sick at the same time. It's already started happening in New York. New York about to totally run out. And this is the reason why the president signed the Defense Production Act. So let me tell y'all about this here, because I've seen a whole lot of comments online. He signed this in place, supposedly, so that every business, every manufacturer, think about it, you got all these big companies that give their people PPEs, protective equipment, personal protective equipment, wherever they are. They're companies with warehouses with millions of masks, millions of gowns, and things of that nature. But the hospitals are running out. And so what is happening, they're putting the pressure on their local government, and also that's your mayors, and then at the state level, the governors. And so then they run into at the federal level and calling in there to Trump. Y'all saw it last week when the governors were calling in one by one. And so they begin to call in and they asking for money, and they asking also for the PPE. And so they said, go into the reserve that we have when it comes to this kind of stuff and distribute it. Well, there ain't enough in the reserve because we haven't reached our peak. As they continue to test in these different concentrated areas where the disease had broke out first, they're going to what they're going to begin to see is that there's going to be a shortage, and New York already see this shortage now, and so they already know that they don't have enough on hand to take care of the sick people, ventilators, the PPE equipment, and then also what else is beds. They already see now that they don't have enough for that, even if they emptied out the reserve. So he had assigned this Defense Production Act to get all of these people really scared enough to start calling them to say, okay, I got 100,000 masks. Okay, all right. And Haynes, you're going to make some. Haynes spoke up and said, okay, we're going to make 500,000 masks, although we usually just make drawers and panties and socks and T-shirts. We're going to make some masks. And so, okay. So when he signed that, they know that really what he can do is call every last one of them, say, you're going to make 1 million, you're going to make 10 million, you're going to make this many, and now send it in. Now, if I was the Presbyterian, because that's what I would be, because I am president of a company, I'm a businessman, and I'm an entertainer. If I was in the presidency of the divided states of America, that's what I would have done. But y'all ain't choose me as the president, and I ain't even run. Y'all chose him. He's a businessman. He won his entire election by pandering to, you may think, to the prejudices of all of the nation, but he really played into the hand of the business people, which is basically your white rich people that are also Christians. So this is what Christians, let me say that. And so that's what he played into. And by him playing into that, he got to make sure that he don't lose his base, because he's trying to get re-elected. So he's going to keep that same game plan that made him win the first time to win this time. And one of the things that he said, I will never nationalize businesses, meaning I won't never say, you're going to make this, you're going to make this, and start controlling y'all business, especially in the time of crisis. So they're volunteering right now. But what they're saying at the state level and the governors and everybody, and you and I, like, nigga, why don't you just tell these folk to go ahead and do what you asked them to do? Go ahead and make this stuff. You the president, we in the mess, send the mess. And then get them folk to make some tests so we can send it out and test every darn body. But they're not operating like that. On one side of my mind say, they're not operating like that because it's all about the haves, not the have-nots. And it's not about the brown people in America. And they're just doing whatever they need to do to make sure that they follow their plan so everybody, the rich and the famous, will be taken care of and don't care about the middle class and the lower class. That's what one side of my mind says. But then the other side of my mind actually thinks like this. I understand as a business person, sometimes you have to make decisions with the whole and the entire in mind. And those decisions are step by step. And it takes a measure of patience to deal with somebody who's in a seat of business ownership, because they don't move quickly. They won't take 10,000 and put it over there right quick. They're going to watch and see if we can create this 10,000 over here. So we want to take this out the money over here. So this is what I'm seeing happen in the White House. Being that situations are the way that they are, I feel like they should take the extreme measure from the federal level and say, look, I'm stepping in, my power as president, everybody shut down. But see, if you do that, some people, there's some states that ain't got a whole lot of infections, are going to be like, why are you doing that to us? That's going to kill our economy, because it's money, 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 money. It's a businessman. It's about a billionaire. It's money, 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 money. This whole bailout thing that keeps getting rejected, the Democrats are not agreeing to. But if you read and see what the Democrats are not agreeing to, it really like the Republicans are more concerned about businesses than they are the people. So they're going back and forth, and the Democrats say, I don't care how bad we want to get this money to everybody by April the 6th. We are not signing, because still right here on this line, y'all got all this money going to airlines, all this money going to all these billionaires and rich people anyway to bail them out. And then you ain't sending but $1,200 and $500 per child, according to 2018 taxes, to all these people. We don't like this. And so the Democrat, now, of course, the Republicans probably going to take this opportunity to be like, see, y'all not letting the people get their money. I even heard the Presbyterian make a comment about 2 or 3 press conferences ago that sort of alluded to that. But now that it's put out there through the websites and through the media, we know exactly what y'all deciding on. Take your time. Take your time. Because last time when y'all done all them bailouts to GM Motors and everybody way back when didn't bail out the common folk, and we had to work ourselves up with where we at now. Huh? So now you need to help us stay right where we at. And y'all companies just have to change and fold up or whatever you got to do. Darn. So, it looks like, though, according to what I saw before I got out here, he actually enacted some more of that Defense Production Act. That's what it done did. So where now he like, look, because y'all, a lot of what's happening, some of these companies that got all this stuff that the country need, been calling the White House talking about, well, I know masks usually 98 cents, but you know, it's such a demand for them, so mine's $7. And that's horrible. When you got the what's the governor's name of New York? What's the name? Cuomo. You got him up there struggling, going through, and these governors bidding in a bidding war trying to get masks and PPE stuff to their hospitals and stuff. That ain't how it's supposed to be. That's the way I feel. Now, I am not in the presidential seat, but I'm just saying that does seem a little wicked to me. Y'all's having a money fight in the midst of these people are dying and getting sick. Just do like you need to do. So now he's actually putting some other policies into place along with this Defense Production Act that keeps that price gouging from happening. It keeps people from hiding in their warehouse so they can up the value of masks and PPE equipment, because there's some billionaire companies around our country that is doing that. I want y'all to get a good picture of what America is about. America is about that dollar. I'm just going to say it like they might shut me down, because I had to even sign some stuff to even talk about the Presbyterian. But this is about that dollar. That show that Tyler Perry got the haves and the haves not. That's what it's about. They put this man in the office for the sake of the economy. And to be quite honest, aside from when he opened up the floor from questions, he becomes a brilliant entertainer. I love it. I don't know if he even mean to do it, but he tickles all of my tickle box. My tickle box turns upside down. All my tickles fall out. Just everywhere. He tickles me. This man tickles me. He's a great entertainer. And he got a good business mind. And I think this is the reason why he keep lying. I think he's lying by default. I don't think he get up there and say, I'm going to get ahead and tell a whole bunch of lies. Because, we catch him in lies all the time. I think he get up there, he sells whatever he's talking about. Track, Kendall, your mic on. Yeah. Act like you one of the reporters and you ask me talking about something bad that's happening in the nation. I'm at like Trump. Ask me a question. Go ahead on.
So, Trump, can you explain why it is that all these hospitals are trying to treat all these people, but yet they are short on the things that they need?
Well, this is something that we've never experienced before. And so it's taken a lot of us to come together to get things done. And I think we're doing a great job with something that, hey, this is something we've never seen before. The Chinese virus. The Chinese virus has really caused us to be put into a spot. So we're going to continue to work to make sure that everybody gets what they need. We've sent a tremendous amount of PPEs just the other day. When was it? Pence? Yes. Tony, you got something you want to say? Yes, we've been doing really well with this. And this is all going to wash out. It's just going to wash out. It's going to wash out really soon. And everything's going to be all right. All right, next question. Ain't said just lying. Lying. And he's a businessman, so he's and that's what a businessman do. If you go to that car lot and tell me how high that car is, he start telling you every reason why you need that car. He's not going to talk about that price. It's a tactic. It's what they learn. So I think he's been the businessman. And he's trying to sell it and make us feel good. And I think just like that man, he fussed out. He said, it's a nasty question. That man, he fussed out when he said, don't you think you trying to be too optimistic? And because you've been optimistic up here talking, you're not telling the truth. He cut him. He cut him. Was so good to me. I was tickled. Lord was good to me. But I think that's what we're seeing as relates to Trump. For me and my personality, I'd rather you just straight shoot it to me. And so he's getting a little better. It looked like now he's trying to talk more straight and direct. Now, the doctors tend to talk direct, but there's one or two of the other people, I can't remember their name, he called up there. I said, they talk like a politician and like these pastors be talking. They talk in circles. And you know, that's really, that's a learned skill that you can use. And most of you people out there that are liars and cheaters, you've been doing it all your life. Those of you out there that don't like yourself to feel pain, and so you tell yourself lies about who you really are, and when somebody asks you and catch you in some mess, that conversation you have around that and turning that thing versus owning up to your mess, this is what we see right here. It's just simple as that. Lord have mercy. Okay, so I don't know if finding a cure right now is as important as everybody keeping their whole hand in the house and wash. Wash your hands, y'all. Wash your hands. Oh, we ain't got no time for nobody dying. Oh, wash your hands, y'all. Wash your hands. Oh, we ain't got no time for nobody done. Hallelujah. I don't know if finding a cure to this is as important as y'all keeping your hind parts in the house. Stay in the house and sit down. Do not come out. Go get you some food, cheeseburger, bologna, hot dogs, and sit down. And do not come out, get your spam, some treat meat, and go and sit down somewhere with some grits and eggs. Yeah, I'm talking that slave food. I don't know if y'all know about that country slave food. Get you some bologna and put it in the freezer and wait. Chop you up a banana, put a little bit of mayo and some white sugar in it, and make that slimy paste and put it on some white bread and a piece of bologna with some Doritos. Y'all know nothing about that. Chop you up a banana and put some mayo on that bread and make you a nana sandwich. Listen here. Get in the house. Party later. Alive later. Because some of you immune systems is not right because you done ate too many sugary things. You eat sugary cake. You eat sugary cupcakes and Krispy Kreme. You drink sugary drinks. All that sugar for that disease just attached to in the cells. Just attached to, you know, that sugar and that low electricity. Ain't no electricity in your cells. Ain't no water in your cells. So if you get it, you got. You pre-diabetic right there and now. Stay in the house. And don't go over there to go see grandma. You know she's sick and coughing, dry coughing right now as I'm doing this show. And you going to go with her, my grandma, I love you. Can I have some cornbread? No, you can't. Man, these church musicians and pastors is catching corona and some of them are dying. Oh, Lord Jesus. This is terrible. Okay, they saying something about the Facebook Live is sticking and skipping and freezing. But YouTube's not doing that. So if y'all want to leave, y'all can just go ahead and leave over there. Okay. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Periscope ain't skipping neither. There's something going on with Facebook. It might be my page because they're mad at me over there. One good thing that has happened over the last 3 days that the FDA has created a test that will tell you in 45 minutes if you got Cora or not. So I think this is going to be really good. And they're telling everybody not to go to the hospital if they ain't got no dry cough or got no fever. You might as well, because if you go to the hospital and you're not nearby dead, they're not going to take you in. They're going to tell you if you got it, it's like you and your family quarantine for 14 days. Do the best you can, but what you got, and just let it pass through, hope for your immune system. But then the only way they let you come back there and get to work on you is if you're nearby dead, and they had to put you on the ventilator. Some people pull through that, some people do not. So this is why I think he need to go ahead and enact that Defense Production Act to get everything at the hospital these people need, so we ain't got to turn people around. And also put the money over there to get these tests done. Meanwhile, just tell all these folks, let me tell you all this. Go ahead and call your credit cards, call all your car payments, and tell them that you have lost your job. If you have lost your job, and tell, or even if you ain't lost your job, you ain't gonna be working, being getting no check for the next 60, 90 days. Tell them they got to wait 3 months, 2 months, whoever, to get your mess. Because some people are pardoning all of that. I did hear about that, and some people have followed that advice and told me about it. So I want to tell y'all that. Do that right now so you ain't worrying yourself. Don't be taking your money. And I even heard that they say they're not going to turn off nobody's lights. Here in Atlanta, I do know that. They're not going to turn off nobody's lights, so they're not going to evict nobody. They're not going to put nobody out of their house if they're paying the mortgage. So you need to take advantage of these times because rich people do. So you might as well act like poor people and call them and say you ain't got no money. Cry. Do whatever you got to do on the phone and make sure they defer them payments for 60 to 90 days. Cry and talk crazy. Scream on the phone. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got all these kids. Lord. And then, ma'am, just calm down. I just need 60 days. Get what you can get. I mean, you can't go down there and apply for no food stamp, because I think they done stopped that too, ain't they? They ain't even down there for you to fill out nothing. So you got to do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do. Okay. I don't know why these people be texting and calling me stuff knowing that I am live. Don't be sending me no that kind of going on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 3 days, we've seen a whole lot of these preachers say different things. And last week, really, as how we are supposed to be responding to this here corona. 3 people have spoken out. One is Bishop Paul S. Morton. We talked about that already. The other one is Bishop Jakes. He did on yesterday. But between them, who we used formerly known as Opposite Prophet Brian Carn on this show, but he had so many prophecies that hit the nail on the head since then that we've retired that title. So we're just going to call him Brian Carn. Bring them over here. I'm going to have to talk to all of them because I tell you the truth. They had cut up so bad. Oh, thank you so much for supporting the platform. And let me say this. I'll make sure I say this. Before I get into this conversation, you leave them right there because, thank you for supporting I don't care if it's $1 through CashApp, LarryReidLive, Venmo. Thank you. Because since I've been talking about the pandemic, they won't monetize these videos. So it's just like me sitting here working for free. Whatever you give at this moment goes into the MBN budget, just like it would if these videos were monetized. But when I talk on certain topics, and I can't just be like, well, let me just talk about what I know can monetize. I don't think I'm supposed to use the platform like that. I don't feel it's that. I'm supposed to use the platform to have the conversation that need to be had. And I know for some of you, you're not going to know what's going on with this pandemic except that I talk about it. So this is the reason why I'm telling you guys that it's aerosol, that it's airborne. At this point, if you leave your house and you are going anywhere in any size room where there are other people that will walk by you, you need a mask on. You need a mask on. And Kendra, I think what I'm going to do, I am going to videotape you making a mask because you made a very effective one out of paper towel. And some people can't get in the hole of no mask. And granted, it ain't as sophisticated as other masks blocking this, that, and the other, but anything that will put a barrier between your nose and your mouth area when you're going out, you need to be doing that. If y'all gonna be running to these churches and weddings and funerals or whatever, you need to have on a mask. You need to put something across through here because this is where it's gonna come in and just attack and run down in your lungs and what have you. And if you got to be touching on stuff where other folk walk through, put you on some gloves. And put that stuff on right before you go into the place. This is what I want to say. Put it on right before you go into the place. And then when you come out the place, before you get back in your car, take that stuff off. And still keep your hands out of your face till you get back to your house to wash your hands. And then everything you touched on your way in there wash hand, get you a Clorox wipe. And wipe everything back to your car and wipe down your car again. I know this sounds like a lot, but some folk get, half of America is going to get it. Just put that out there. You're going to get it. But a fraction of them people, only a fraction of people are going to get hospital care. So there are going to be a lot of folk dying of cholera. Can we just talk it that plain? There are going to be people dying of cholera. So what you need to do is make sure you and none of your loved ones get it. Because if one of your loved ones get it, may be asymptomatic. And there's a lot of people that is like that. They don't have no cough. They don't have no nothing. But there are potent spreaders. It's called community spread. And then the next person get it, maybe the person that you love die. What would you do right now? It's not a gunshot. It's not HIV. It was not a car wreck. But your son, your mom, your daughter right now went to church, Walmart, or anywhere, got the disease, brought it to you. You asymptomatic, but they die. Do you? And die quick. So I want you to think like that. And that's not putting fear or panic in you. It's putting awareness. And it's easy for me to say, somebody's about, oh, you spreading fear. Well, then I guess when I was preaching Jesus all these years, I was spreading fear then. Because what I'm doing, I'm spreading the awareness that Jesus has power and is the answer for the world today. I'm spreading that face mask, washing your hands, putting on gloves can save your life. It's the same thing to me. It don't feel no different coming out of my mouth. Neither one of them make me feel or should make you feel. It should be a choice that you make that's the best choice for your health and for your family. Hell, that's the reason why I got problem with some of these folks standing over here. Lord have mercy, I'm going to do my best not to use my fake cuss words, because me using the fake cuss word is when I done really got upset. Lord have mercy. Thank you, LaVon. She sent $2 to the CashApp. See, that's what I'm talking about. Show that you got some kind of value. Every time I sit right here and I talk to you, it feels wonderful to know that there are people who value the show. Thank you, LaVon. That's the only thing I've seen. Maybe some more of you, and I just ain't seen it right now. But anyway, let me go ahead and get to the rest of this show. Now, I'm going to show y'all a video that I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about. Now, I don't know how the rest of this show is going to go, because I'm going to say whatever I got to say. Let me go ahead and let's tell y'all about something that you can be doing right now, because if you ain't been to church, you probably need to go ahead and make sure that you are locked into this prayer line. It's going on 24 hours of the day, teaching, prophecy, conversation, just good to build the soul. That's the call-in number. Screenshot it right now. It's happening with Bishop Jordan, and most of the time, he's the one up there. So I want you guys to participate in that for your wellness. And then make sure you download America's Original Sin. Sign up for this reading. You in the house. You ain't doing nothing, no way. So you need to make sure. Don't entertain yourself into a coma. Too much entertainment make you stupid. So you got to balance the entertainment out with reading some scriptures and reading some books and stuff, some words, so you can play with that part of your brain, so you don't put yourself in that kind of state where your brain is always wanting dopamine shot after dopamine shot. So make sure you download that as well. But I'm going to play this here video. And on this video, you're going to see every last one of these men that are here for the man that, well, all of them got the head tilted except for Corn, ain't it? The man that got the gap in his mouth, that's who we call Daddy Jakes. Yeah, he the one got his gap fixed, but he should not have done that, because we were used to it. Man in the white is Bishop Let It Rain, No Tears. His name is Bishop Paul S. Morton, singing man. And then, of course, we all probably know Brian Carn for a good thing or for a bad thing, because he's always been in the media doing and saying something. And all three of these men are going to talk to whoever's listening. But being that they are preachers, I would think that they know their audience is church people. And so you can see three different messages. Two are similar to church people. And I want us to discuss it. I want us to talk about it. And I want everybody involved in this, and I'm going to open up the lines. So there are 657 of you on Facebook. And Facebook is on a horrible delay. So something is really wrong there. And then over there on YouTube, we're having problems over there. I mean, because YouTube is there's not even 1,000 people over there. Yeah, so something is off with our notifications. Maybe it's high traffic online or something like that. But I need for all of you guys to hit like right now. Hit like right now. Okay? So we can get everybody in on this conversation that we are going to be having tonight. And I'm going to tell you what I think after we discuss what they have said, actually. So we're going to go straight to that clip and come right back to me so that we can talk about it. We may watch the clip twice so that we can be clear on what we're discussing. Make sure you listen really good. On March the 16th, 2020, Bishop Let It Rain Your Tears, also known as Bishop Paul Sylvester Morton, said, "I have a serious problem with the church closing when no executive order comes from the state or city. We must respect the law, but not fear and panic closing down before government requires us to do so. It is a spirit of fear that does not come from God. Put faith over fear. God is in control."
You are not a part of this government. You are a part of a new government. Glory to God. You are not a part and bound by the laws of the land if they contradict the laws of God. You are a part of a different government. You are called to a different standard. Yes, Prophet Carr, and you are called to do things differently. We govern ourselves according to this Constitution. This is our Constitution. Not the government's. This is our Constitution. The Word of God.
Call the fish over to the bank and cough up the coin that was necessary to pay Rome, because God does expect his children to respect authority. There are some that are saying today that they are so Christian that they will disobey the laws of the land, but that is not being Christian, which is to be Christ-like. If Christ had done that, then he wouldn't have paid his taxes. But he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto God what is God. It is possible to be obedient to those that he has rule over you and still be true to God. Talk to me, somebody. All of this comes as you mature as a Christian and you grow as a Christian. You grow in the grace and the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You have to be careful about making statements when you're too young. Sometimes when you're too young and too immature and not seasoned, you can be old and be immature. If you're not mature enough to have the position that you have, you will lead people to their own peril, because your truths have not been tested by experience. If there's nothing else we've learned in America, experience does matter.
I want to know, what do you believe? What are your thoughts? I want you to begin to comment and share right now in the comment section. And while you're sharing in the comment section, I want you to be mindful to call in. Go ahead and get in line, because I want to hear from the co-host before I sign off. I actually may be on another show tonight that comes on tonight, because I got a text earlier, but I have not gotten confirmed. But I may end up on another platform tonight. We're going to cyber in, and I actually sit on that bench with them tonight. It's not confirmed yet, but I did get a text. So I'm going to let y'all know about that. I'm going to share that link out so all of y'all can come over there in the comment section. But I want you to go ahead and call in 646-787-8174. We're going to watch it again. And I'm seeing the cash apps come in. 'Cause I did tell y'all at the top of the show, those of you that are watching, that I can't monetize talking on the topic of the pandemic. Actually, one slipped through. I went and looked, that they let it be. But I don't know how long they're going to let it be. Celestine Williams, thank you for your donation. Latanya Butler, thank you for your donation. Nakia Tucker, thank you for your donation. Then this other number looks like it's from overseas. Thank you for your donation. Also, I call him Champ. Shamako Bryant, thanks. Patricia Hardy, thank you for $20. Stephanie Wright, thank you for $25. To the MBNNetwork. Shamika Solomon, thank you. And McCovery, thank you. Now, if you do it through the website, I can't always see it. Sometimes they send me an email. Sometimes it's a little funky. I don't know what that is. But thank you so much for supporting on what we're doing here tonight. We're going to look at this one more time. Write down this number. Go ahead, call in. I want to know what you think. 646-787-8174. 646-787-8174. I know y'all on the delay, so I'm going to say it one more time. 646-787-8174. 646-787-8174. 646-787-8174. We're going to play it one more time, and we're going to come back and talk about. Lord, help my tongue tonight. Tonight, Lord. Go ahead, play it. On March the 16th, 2020, Bishop Let It Rain Your Tears, also known as Bishop Paul Sylvester Morton, said, "I have a serious problem with the church closing when no executive order comes from the state or city. We must respect the law, but not fear and panic closing down before government requires us to do so. It is a spirit of fear that does not come from God. Put faith over fear. God is in control."
You are not a part of this government. You are a part of a new government. Glory to God. You are not a part and bound by the laws of the land if they contradict the laws of God. You are a part of a different government. You are called to a different standard. Yes, Prophet Card. And you are called to do things differently. We govern ourselves according to this Constitution. This is our Constitution. Not the government's. This is our Constitution. The Word of God.
Call the fish over to the bank and cough up the coin that was necessary to pay Rome, because God does expect his children to respect authority. There are some that are saying today that they are so Christian that they will disobey the laws of the land. But that is not being Christian, which is to be Christ-like. If Christ had done that, then he wouldn't have paid his taxes. But he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto God what is God. It is possible to be obedient to those that he has rule over you and still be true to God. Talk to me, somebody. All of this comes as you mature as a Christian and you grow as a Christian. You grow in the grace and the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You have to be careful about making statements when you're too young. Sometimes when you're too young and too immature and not seasoned, you can be old and be immature. If you're not mature enough to have the position that you have, you will lead people to their own peril because your truths have not been tested by experience. If there's nothing else we've learned in America, experience does matter.
I want to know what you think. What is it? I want to know what you think. I want to know how you feel as relates to what they said. But first, I'm going to say what I got to say. Okay, now help me. Now, Lord, them, Jesus, them, help me, cause I don't want to disrespect nobody. But these church people and pastors, they feel like if you don't say nothing except a compliment, then you're being disrespectful. But I don't come from that kind of world. But anyway. Number one, Bishop Morton, I already had said this before, but I want to say this again to make sure that I am crystal clear. First off, I absolutely love his ministry of singing. Let me say that. Can I keep it honest like that? Nancy, is you engaged in the conversation?
Yes, I'm listening.
All right. Don't you enjoy Bishop Morton's singing ministry?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
I enjoy preaching. I don't enjoy your preaching ministry. I don't even understand. But I like the hoop part. Woo! I love the master of that. And from the outside looking in, it looked like that Morton is probably a nice dude. I know Caleb, who is his armor bearer's brother, but they don't look nothing alike. Why don't they look nothing alike? So I've heard the stories. You're a good guy from what I know, and I know you and Bishop Bernard Jordan have been friends or colleagues or something for years, for over 40 years. You take family trips together. I do know that. So you got to be a good guy. However, this is like the second or third time that something you have done or the lack of doing has ended up on this show and it irritated me to no end. First off was how you handled that whole Bishop Cousins thing. We talking about the victor. I felt like that should have been handled a certain kind of way. This is just my opinion. It's my show. I give it. You think like you do on your Twitter. I didn't think you handled it right. Then went over there to restore him too quick when he was fresh out of community puss. Yes. He was sticking his pass around puss. It's community peen and pass around puss. He was sticking his community peen round about the pass around puss in the bodies of the Christ every darn where. Lying to these women, telling him that they love him, and he telling them that you're near about. On this show, near about is, when you almost whatever. That they were going to be near about wives, and that didn't happen, and they were left out there. And then you popped up one day with a snow bunny and married this here white girl. I knew you were running over there too quick. Next thing we know, he come up on some chargeable stuff. So it just looked like you was running too quick. That's the same issue I had with Bishop Jakes. Everybody that do something sideways, he restore them too quick. But I found out from a very reliable source that they say he just all about restoration. I said, okay, I understand. I still don't like it. Because there's some folk he went back laid hands on. I felt like that Keon Henderson, which I used to represent him in the industry. I didn't like I didn't like the way Keon handled his wife publicly. It made the public and the church seem like they were working on their marriage, but really he done filed for divorce. And then that picture came out that he told me was not him. Now that's what it said. It said it wasn't him, but it sure looked like it. All that's in Patreon. But one thing I do like is the video that he recently done. Talking about Keon, I done got off subject. Talking about Keon, talking about his daddy. He was serving his pastor. Didn't even know that his pastor was his daddy. Good God Almighty. Ooh, the church got some drama in it. Couldn't Google a move. Poor thing. And I've always liked Keon. I'm always gonna like Keon unless I find out something I don't like. But I like him. But anyway, I still had to talk about him. It's just the nature of my job. So that's one thing I've held against Bishop, Daddy Jakes. But getting back to Bishop, let it rain no tears. So that whole cousins thing was a whole issue. And then to see how you're so vocal about the other stuff that happened. You came after the gays with a vengeance. I mean, just snatched every peen out of the mouth for every gay. Round about the bodies of the Christ. Just get that out your mouth. Let it rain. So, and I thought that was interesting because you didn't handle the victim like that. So, okay, this is what it is. We know about his child. That's all over the internet. Yeah, Bishop got a child outside his marriage. I think it was before he married. I don't know. But either way, he ended up claiming and everything all right now. So when a man fixes ways, it is what it is. Then, now, I started feeling a certain kind of way when it came to this word network thing, but everybody can have their opinion. I got my opinion. I'm not going to get mad at your opinion. That's not even a serious issue. I feel like the white man disrespected the black man, and so we ought not fool up with him. You feel like, oh, no, we can't do that. Let's be peaceful. That's you. I don't feel like that. Okay, so that ain't really that bad. But then this here. Pull up. You got the clip of what it said? The clip? Yeah, the tweet. This right here, Bishop Morton, let's read it together. It says, first of all, it's a whole mess, but I'm guessing you were just trying to say a whole lot in a little piece because you ain't got so many characters on the Twitterations. I have a serious problem with the church closing when no executive order comes from the state or from the city. We must respect the law, but not fear panic. Closing down before government rules us to do so. It's a spirit of fear that does not come from God. Faith over fear. God is in control. All right. So I sat with this a while. I still stand on everything that I have said, but I did sit with this a little while longer. To me, Jamal Harrison Bryant calling that phone call that he was on where he was about, were y'all instigating it? And I told you about that because I was eavesdropping on that phone call. I felt like, Bishop Morton, I'm talking to you. I felt like Jamal was taking the initiative to talk to Kemp, who still ain't did nothing. Is what we, those of you outside Atlanta gonna have that chorus coming out y'all ears. At least he doesn't shut down our mayor here, the black girl. What's her name? Keisha Bottoms, last name Bottoms, and that's prophetic. God has a sense of humor. But anyway, here in Atlanta, she done shot some stuff down. So we stopping community spread some, but outside of here, I don't think that even happened. Somebody read the comments. Somebody said something different. I ain't read what Kemp said. Nothing. I thought Jamal was being, taking the initiative, asking for no, just don't ban us no less than 250. I thought it was good that he was taking the initiative. Although I do believe that most of these pastors on this phone call was concerned about having meat in the seat and having money. And then Morton spoke up to my, why are we instigating it? Why are we instigating this? That was funny to me. I felt like your comment was blanket. That was my issue, because people thinking of shutting their doors. I don't think that means they're fearful or even a lack of faith. I think that is people taking care of people, which I think should be just a part of humanity. Don't have nothing to do with Jesus, church, or nothing. Don't want no harm to come to nobody else. So that's what I think. So I thought that statement at that time should not have been said, because it seemed insensitive as a pastor to then rebuke other pastors because they decide or anticipate or considering at that time, because that was on the 9th, shutting their doors for safety. To me, it made it appear that you were concerned about meat in the seat, as opposed to what you could have been saying. Put this tweet up. What you could have been saying is, why are you anticipating it? That could have been what you were saying. I can see that in what you were saying. That you're saying, if they ain't saying nothing about it, why y'all even asking about it? But it still, for me, seems to be coming out of a spirit of, I want meat in the seat and want to continue to do church as normal. That's number 1. So that's what I think concerning Paul Sylvester. Bishop, let it rain, no tears. No, I got to go to the next one. Doing each one by one. Now, the next one is formerly known as Opposite Prophet Brian Carn. Now, this is the problem that I had, what I have with him. Now, let me say this. Y'all already know that I've been getting to know Brian Carn, and I absolutely think that he is a good guy. And I can't get him on the show so that you guys can see another side of him. It is what it is. So you just have to take what I say. You don't have to take what I say, but just listen to what I say and consider that he's a good guy. I know when he on that live talking right hard and saying something like he be saying, it seemed like you were just rude, you're just surly, abrasive. But he's the absolute opposite of that. I think for him being is pleasing God, or is the way that he should be doing what he do, or could be the way that God has him to do it. We have to consider that. I don't like it, and I tell him. I do tell him. I have told him for years, But he is, for me, great guy. I've dealt with him, so that I know. What I say about Paul S. Morton was what from the outside looking at, I think he is, but I don't know him. But I've talked to him on the phone several times. I have left my house and went to a church service to hear him preach. That's how much of what I think of him. To get up at my house and go hear somebody preach. And it was in the hood too. Yeah. It has something to do with his spiritual daughter, Genesis Warren, too, because I like her. But anyway, this is the problem that I have. And I said this to him today. I said, I'm going to share another part that I said today concerning him and Jakes. Because in my opinion, I don't care what nobody say. Jakes was talking about Brian Carn. Jakes was talking about Carn. I didn't. Don't nobody come tell me Cora. What's the other brother name that watched the show sometime? But I think I heard a little bird told me that Jakes told Cora not to comment on the show no more. I'm pretty sure she's still watching. But look here. Jakes was talking about Brian Carn. Daddy Jakes was talking about Brian Carn. Can what nobody say. But I'll get to that when I get to Jakes. But I said this to Carn. I don't think the preaching and on the live or at the church need to turn into a fight with the government. I think that's absolutely dumb. I don't think everybody knows that there's a separation of church and state. So the reality is that all these preachers can still have church the way that they have been doing church, except that in the order it names assemblies or churches. Even at that point, you really can argue it. Did I say argue? Sometimes I struggle with that word. And I think that he started fighting the government too much. I'm sorry, YouTube, you're missing a whole lot of your crowd because YouTube did not send out a signal, a notification. It sent out a notification, but it's not showing on the thing who's live that you follow. So sorry. Versus telling people we are not a part of this government as we pay taxes. We're not a part of this government as we have licenses. We're not a part of this government as we pay our bills. Because we're not sovereign citizens. So sovereign citizens have certain exemptions, but I know Brian ain't. And most of us ain't. So I don't understand that. I don't like this fight with the government and saying, But then when I listened to what he said, I don't know if y'all heard it. So that's the problem that I have with that. And I also have a problem with a pastor, not saying he was doing this, but with a pastor using the Bible and the scripture, especially that forsaking our assembly selves together, to try to prove a point on the reason why folks should still come to church at a time when we know they can contract a disease that could kill them. To me, why is that rocket science? If the governor or the mayor didn't give no ordinance, if I was pastoring still, I would say, I don't want it, and I don't want y'all to get it. Now get it. But we are gonna be praying. We are gonna be seeking the face of God and cursing this here virus. And I might call 10 of y'all, depending on how big my church is. I might do like Jake's did, that big old church. I think he had every bit of 2 people in there. I think we're really like 50. Y'all sit out space and let's pray. I would do that. Because that's in context of that whole scripture. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, then will there be a hearing from heaven, and I forgive the sins and heal their land, which really give us one reason why this is happening. Now, there's a scientific reason that we have this pandemic, and then there's a spiritual one. Remind me to say that, Nancy. A spiritual and a scientific reason for this disease. So I have a problem with that because knowing what I know about Brian, who loves people, from what I see, I've watched and I've been around and watched. I mean, he talks rude and abrasive, but this guy loves people. So I wanted to shake him and say, find another way to relate to your followers that is safer for them. Then I will also need to ask, okay, what extra precautions are y'all taking? Because you know about the disease. If people just coming like normal, touching doorknobs, there's no cleaning station with alcohol-based sanitizer and alcohol-based wipes. Them Lysol spray and Lysol wipes don't work against this disease. Against the disease, we need the alcohol. You need to put some alcohol and a little bit of water in a spray bottle and spraying in your house, that kind of going on. So are you doing that? I just want to know, and he won't come on the platform, so I can't ask that. But I'm pretty sure it probably is doing that. Or somebody in the church. And it makes it look like from the outside that maybe you're using that scripture to make folk come to church. Now, I know that's not what it is. I know from talking to him that the reason why he's doing what he's doing is because he's 100% convinced and convicted that sickness has no power and no disease has no power over him, and probably God's people. But the thing is, like, a lot of people talking about, they say their faith ain't right. So you might be dragging people into a fight their faith ain't ready for. So that's the problem that I have with that. Now, some of the rest of y'all that I ain't talked to from the outside looking in, it look like y'all are really manipulating texts and manipulating people to get them to come to church and give their money. Manipulating the law of giving to continue to keep your money coming into the church, as opposed to just keeping it real, like I do on this platform. I told y'all beginning the show, because I'm talking about this, I can't monetize it. I said, so I'm asking everybody that enjoy this platform to hit the Cash App, to go to the website, hit and donate. I'm asking you that. And it's very clear and plain. If this platform ever needs something to come ask y'all, I'm not going to blink twice about it. Don't bother me. But I'm not going to run no trick and run no game. Now that I'm not going to do. I'm going to tell you straight out what's up. So how come the pastor just can't say, we need you to continue to tithe. We need you to continue to give your offering because we got staff we got to pay. I got to get paid. These people have families. I don't want to lay off nobody. And then say, now you know the law of reciprocity. And you know what the scriptures say about the giver. So you know these blessings going to come on you if you do this. But then I want to come up, turn around and say, okay, then you're going to be cursed if you do that. I ain't going to play them games. I would just keep it straight and plain. That's what these pastors should be doing, because from the outside looking in, y'all looking like crooks and charlatans. When you start using these texts and preaching these words that's all about coming to church versus you talking about faith, prophetic promises, the power of God, the healing power of God, bringing us together to pray for our community, to attack this virus, to pray for the doctors and the researchers and the scientists who are coming up with a vaccine. There's so many things we could be focusing our prayer on. The prayers on. Pray that this house can get together and pass this bill that will bless a lot of us. $2,000 a month for a period of time or whatever. As opposed to fussing at folk coming to church. That's the problem. Now, Jakes. Number one, the problem I have with Jakes is that I know you were talking about Brian Carn. That's number one. Now, if Jakes was on his live where he's sitting down talking to his phone and he wanted to throw off on Carn on a live stream, my mentor did it. Sitting down with Prophet Brian Moses. Y'all remember that happened years ago, some of you that know. When Carn allegedly copied the witch. All them prophets sat there and to him a new one. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, because this is the digital space. It's different. But in the holy house of God, or in a preaching moment, because you can do a preaching moment even from digital. But I think those moments, those platforms are sacred, and they should be used to build and to inform, to entertain on some level, but with the purpose of education. I don't think you should be doing that. And he was in his preaching moment and took the preaching moment to beat Brian over the head. And he even went, I want us to watch it again. Is that way we can you put the video over there and then slide it to just Jake's and then bring it over? I think you can. If you click it and bring it in this screen over here. Now slide it. Slide that. Yeah. That's right. To there. Okay, now bring that over. It's going to play just Jake's. What you doing?
It's in the middle of Jake's.
Because I know he was talking about corn.
Hopefully it'll do it.
It should do it.
Sure.
No, where you got? It's where you got the bar at, not the green thing. Where you got the green thing? You got green thing? Okay, right there. Play.
Expect his children to respect authority. There are some that are saying today that they are so Christian that they will disobey the laws of the land. But that is not being Christian, which is to be Christ-like. If Christ had done that, then he wouldn't have paid his taxes. But he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto God what is God. It is possible to be obedient to those that he has rule over you and still be true to God. Talk to me, somebody. All of this comes as you mature as a Christian and you grow as a Christian. You grow in the grace and the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You have to be careful about making statements when you're too young. Sometimes when you're too young and too immature and not seasoned, you can be old and be immature. If you're not mature enough to have the position that you have, you will lead people to their own peril because your truths have not been tested by experience. If there's nothing else we've learned in America, experience does matter.
Now you see where he said what he said about following the laws of the land. 100% agree with him. I also agree with what Karn said, because Karn said when the government tried to tell you to do something that goes against the Bible and what we believe, we're not supposed to follow that. And he basically was alleging that, they're saying don't assemble together, and the Bible says to assemble together. And if you are a fundamental Christian, a Bible-toting, Bible-thumping follower, he's right. You should be following what the scripture says. That scripture also mentions about obeying the law of the land, which is what we saw Daddy Jake's quote. 100% agree with him that if they say that you should not be meeting over a certain number, you should find a way, because he said this as well, you should find a way to honor what the government is saying and at the same time honor what God is saying. So we now understand, although you preachers told me for many years I was lying because I started saying this 10 years ago, we see now that you can actually assemble online, digitally, and it doesn't have to be physical and in the same space and same air. So I agree with what Jakes is saying too, but what I do not agree with is addressing Karn in a preaching moment at church in the pulpit. I don't like that. I didn't like when Kim Burrell did it, although he wasn't ugly. He was clarifying and really teaching as a forerunner. Him and Karn ain't on the same level. This is a daddy in the spirit. It's a father. So that's what fathers do. And I'm pretty sure it came from that space and not nothing malicious. But I do think it wasn't the time to do that and shouldn't have been done. Because the moment I heard it, I said, oh, he's talking about Karn. Everybody did. Because it just went viral. Like 2 or 3 days before, it was all on the news and stuff. So I don't agree with it. What you think, Nancy?
Yeah, it was, my opinion, he was right in what he said, but he shouldn't have took that moment.
You just repeating what I said.
No, he was right, because I agreed with it.
No, you just saying what I said.
Can I have my opinion without you saying that?
Thanks, Corrine, Patricia Briscoe, Ayat, Deborah Green for $27.75. Thank you so much. Marquella, Shanika Allen, Iris Futch, Karen Reid. We got the same last name. Is we some family? Thompson and DeLone Small. Thank you so very much. Everybody else that's doing it through the website, I can't see it. Justin Jamal Horn, Elter Wilson. Thank you so very much. A lot of people disagree, though. A lot of people disagree what? Okay, that's fine. That's what we got the lines open for. It's time for y'all to call in right now. Call in, put the number up, put all 3 of their faces up, and put the number up. The way you done it so nice before. It was so nice. You had the thing, leave that up there, put the number.
Once I switch over, it goes away.
Oh, okay. I think it's so nice. That's lovely. That's so lovely. Nancy. Good job, Nancy. Good job. You've done that all on your own. You don't do everything on your own. That devil's a lie. You click buttons on your own.
I do everything on my own.
You click buttons.
I do everything on my own.
You click buttons on your own.
I do everything on my own.
All right.
And I would like to finish what you cut me off.
Okay, go ahead, finish, Nancy. Go ahead. What you say?
I said that I do agree with what Jakes was saying. I do think that what he said needed to be said because there is a lot of immature bishops, pastors, preachers, and stuff out there just running off at the mouth because they think that the government is keeping people away from the church, but they're not. They're actually trying to help you because I feel like the government is on the church's side. But the church seems to be back and forth with the government for what reason, I don't know. But for Jakes to say that, I think he was right at that moment in what he was saying, but I do feel like it made it known that he was talking about corn.
Okay. All right. And I know ain't nobody heard nothing you said. They talked to soft.
They did hear me.
Anybody hear you?
They did hear me.
All right. So let's go. All right. Let's go with the first caller. Caller in and can you hear me?
No, because I ain't clicking yet.
All right. Click the button. That's your job. Caller in and 1907. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what up? Property LarryReid.
Okay. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. You got 1 minute.
What's up? This Solomon from Chicago. I'm gonna be quick. I just wanted to say, PJ Morton, please come pick up your daddy and put him in a home because I don't know what he's talking about, and he needs to chill out because all his kids ain't even by the same woman. The first thing I want to say is, it's funny to me how the church tells the members to come to church to possibly get sick when the same system, if they do get sick, the same system they will have to go to get better. So they're telling them that to rebel against the doctors in the hospital, but then, or the government rather, and then when they get sick, they have to send them to the same hospitals and the doctors. And I don't understand because the church don't have they don't even have power to heal the people that's already in their membership, let alone how they're going to heal. If people get sick, how they're going to heal them with this coronavirus. It's people that still are in wheelchairs. They can't see, they can't walk, they can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you still have sick people in your audience every Sunday that you don't even have the faith to heal on a regular Sunday morning. So how you going to tell people to have faith and come to church and possibly get sick and then die, and maybe the church will or will not bury you? That's not fair to me. That's number one. Number two, T.D. Jakes has the most successful ministry out of all of them, so he's the only person I will actually listen to because he knows what the hell he's talking about. Other ministries don't really, they're not on the same level as T.D. Jakes. Brian Carter, he's in the news for saying some negative or some positive, like he's inconsistent with his own ministry. Like we need him to get some consistency first. Then we'll believe that he may be a prophet from God. He's not Juanita Bynum. That's why he acts aggressive because he wants to be the new male Juanita Bynum. He'll never be her. And the last thing I do want to say is, I feel like, to be honest, I feel like the church is all of this has to do with idolatry. At the end of the day, I feel like since Donald Trump has been president, which I believe God actually put him there, I feel like all of this is God challenging idolatry in every form. And we may not see it because we didn't think that the church can be an idol. But your church can be an idol. If I can see on my timeline people say, oh, I can't wait to get back to church to give God praise, why can't you praise him at home? I don't understand. Why is your relationship with God different when you're in the church building in contingency to when you're at home or whatever else you are?
Okay.
So I feel like the church has been our idol and God is throwing in his idol.
Okay. I hear you. Thank you so much for contributing to the conversation.
You're welcome, bro.
All right. Okay, so he says he only going to be listening to what T.D. Jakes said and said that Corn wanted to be the male Juanita Bynum and that Jakes is more successful than Morton. So clearly he was on Team Jakes and agreed with what Jakes was saying. Now, he did say something that I just want him to consider. There are some churches that's still in the healing business. There are some churches, pastors, preachers, and prophets that are still in the healing, supernatural healing business authentically. All right, next caller. Caller ending in 2427. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute. You got to turn down your device and listen through the phone.
Caller ending in 2427. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute. You got to turn down your device and listen through the phone.
All right, hit it. I hate when y'all mess up with that. Once you call in, listen to the show through the phone. All right. Caller ending in 8988. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hello, this is David in Atlanta. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great.
Great. Pretty much everything's been said. I pretty much, especially from the context with the three passages that you have used as an example, it pretty much, I pretty much agree with everything that you kind of commented on. At the end of the day, I think everybody should just really focus on what they feel is best for their church. And one thing, and like I'm glad that you mentioned about that some churches are in the healing business, and some churches may have a different platform than opposed to. I remember the last show you mentioned about Paul Morton, and that was which I thought was really true, that we have not raised up, especially in his organization, we haven't possibly raised up the church that really believes in the healing and the blood of Jesus, and are speaking the power. But we've gotten to a point to where churches become so commercialized and idolatry, as well as more for profit. And everyone may not have been led as you have, which is where you now are in your new stage doing this, which shows that you were more proactive, maybe not knowing that this would happen. However, you followed God's voice, and now you are where you are. The last thing that I want to say, though, is we keep talking about the churches. However, something needs to be said to these corporations, because I have friends and family that can work from home, and they're still having to go in the office. So until that gets taken care of, I mean, leave the church law right back, because if they still got to go to work, and then also real life is still happening. We still have people that are dying. Folks have to now can only take 10 people to the funerals. People are going through. Real life is happening outside of this coronavirus that has been going on since before this even happened. And some of us were able to stay at home. We got the internet. We got our things set up. We were prepared, but everyone just is not. And I think we need to pray for some people that just it really is causing them to need to go to a church or go somewhere at this moment so they can get the faith to be able to stay in or do what's best. And I know my time is up, but try to get it all out.
Thank you so much for calling in, caller.
You're welcome.
Okay, they're saying the calls are coming in choppy on YouTube. Is it coming in choppy on
Facebook? Yes.
So there's a problem with the.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I know you don't know, but there's a problem going on with the feed when I talk, or is the problem with the
callers?
With the callers? Okay, so that means the same connection issue. So you want to reset it and reboot the calls? God, there's so many callers in it. Jesus. Okay, let's reset. Let's end this and redial up, and we're gonna see if it fixed, if the connection.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
In fact, y'all can just stay in there. Don't hang up. Stay in there. You should still be in there when we come back. We just got to restart on our way in. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay, they're saying it's just the callers. Let me see. Also, did the first caller sound like that?
Yes.
So the first and the second caller sounded bad.
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking the people in the audience. Somebody said it was just with the callers. Yes, the first caller sounded like that as well. Okay. All right, so let's just see. We're gonna try it again, you guys. Sometimes it won't even dial into the system. So hopefully it dials to the system. If it does dial in, then there's always another way. Let's try this first, because there's another way I can take calls. Let's see here.
Start your show now. Press 1 to hear.
Your show is scheduled to start in 36 seconds.
All right. We're checking to see. Somebody said sing this. What's the name song while we're waiting on? All right, let's go. Ba-na-bum-bum-bum. Wash your hands, y'all. Wash your hands. Oh, we ain't got no time for nobody die.
Your show will go live in 5
Wash
seconds.
your
4,
hands, y'all.
3, 2,
Wash your
1.
hands. Oh, we ain't
Blog
got
Talk Radio.
no time for nobody done. Hallelujah. All right, let's see. Let's try this caller. Caller ending in 2673. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hey, Dr. Reid. This is Dion from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Dion, I can hear you. I can hear you well, but I just got to see if the callers can hear you well. Let's see. I'm gonna wait for them to let me know.
I hope they can hear me.
I sure do as well. Let's see if they're gonna let me know if they can hear you.
You want me
It's
to keep
working.
talking?
All right, it's working. Let's go.
All right, this is Dion in Pennsylvania, and I just want to give a Bible lesson since we're using the Bible.
Okay.
There was a certain man, some call him a prophet, and he sojourned over here to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to my house, where my husband and I was inside, and all we had was some flour and a cruse of oil. He came to get a cake, and I put the cake on the outside because Corona was there.
Okay.
And he still wanted an offering. So I gave him a turtle dove. You know, they manipulate the Bible. And I told him if that wasn't good enough, there was an ass tied on the back of my porch. And when he went there and saw the ass, it was a mirror, and it was him. That's foolishness, Larry. They're manipulating the Bible.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Manipulating the Bible is not true. We can serve God here. We can give through all our digital media platforms. We have a small ministry, and we took up offerings and everything, conference calls and all that other stuff. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Bye, Larry.
Wow. Okay, I hear you. Now I'm going to say this. There's a 24-hour phone call that's going on right now with Bishop Bernard Jordan, and Bishop Bernard Jordan is the only person I know other than myself. I'm sure there were other who were doing the online phone call type thing while they had a brick and mortar building. And so you can definitely call into there. And of course, I do prayer on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. If you missed this Sunday morning, you can still go back and listen to the playback right now. But I have been saying for over 10 years, telling pastors that they need to get in the digital space and build their church in this digital space. Now, if you have been following me online before I started the show in 2016, you know it's the truth. And you know what they said. A lot of pastors sent word and they will say, tell Reid to shut up, because the moment he continues to tell people that they don't have to come to church and they can develop a digital relationship with their church, they're going to quit coming. And this is going to affect our attendance, you know, as opposed to the others that said, okay, you're totally wrong. Forsake not to assemble yourself together. That cannot happen in the digital space, You know, but there were others who knew it. But as the caller said, they were manipulating people, trying to keep meat in the seat. So not putting that on anybody here, not saying that anybody here is not guilty of that. But, yeah, I can't say. Only one I know is Karn. I don't know the other two personally. But I've seen some on my news feed sit there prophesying line. I'm definitely talking about them. Because they said out there, I said, y'all quit now. Y'all still trying to get folk in y'all church like you was before Cora. Want nobody in there for Cora. Now you trying to use Cora to get folk in there? No. All right, let's go. Caller in and 6162. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
I got a little choked up on your last comment. Hi, Larry. This is Mika from Detroit, Michigan. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm about to say, I ain't know what you had, something or what.
I know I ain't got no coronavirus, the blood of Jesus. No. But I am calling in to say I disagree with you on this one.
Okay.
And it's okay for us to disagree.
Yeah, that's all right.
I am Team Daddy Jakes.
Okay.
Besides the fact that I've been a Potter House E-Church member
Okay.
for over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I believe what Karn did, he, like you said, he did it publicly. He needed to be rebuked publicly.
Okay.
It's confusing to a lot of people. A lot of people are confused. They don't know what to do and what they should do. So I feel like when you put the 3 up there, I mean, if I was just coming to know these people or listening or trying to find a voice to, mimic or stand on or hear from, I would probably go with Daddy Jakes. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
The rest of them, it's not that seasoned. They don't have the wisdom, and I agree with you. Paul S. Morton, I love his singing ministry, but I'm not a big fan of his preaching. Prophet Karen, that's just a question mark all by itself.
I understand.
I just called to say I disagree.
Yeah.
And I love you, and I'm going to pay my tithes.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much.
All right, Charlie, play all night.
Thank you. And I absolutely love, that's one of the things I love about this platform, where we can disagree and have our own point of views and still be family. I absolutely love that. I think that's really how the world ought to be. All right, let's go. Caller in 5084. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You have 1 minute.
Hey, Larry, I'm calling from the DMV.
Okay, what's up?
I'm gonna say this, and I know you're gonna understand what I'm saying. There's no unity at Jezebel's table, and what I mean is, you said yourself in your clip that they're arguing, and I'm not talking about all preachers, but some preachers. See, when you know you're a dead man walking, you don't mind leading other people to death. And I'm not talking about Karn. I'm just saying in general. Okay. There's no unity at Jezebel's table. The reason that they're arguing is because, first of all, none of y'all not in the right spirit. And secondly, what I want to say is that some of these preachers, you're nervous because you're not going to be able to pay the mortgage on that $9 million house you bought that you didn't need. That's the reality of the situation. So at the end of the day, I understand people going back and forth. Do what's best for yourself and use wisdom for your family. God does not look at you any differently because you're sitting at home on the couch and worshiping him right there. You are at no loss. But this manipulation, and I'm going to tell you something else, and I'm going to hang up. God done threw a whole monkey wrench in that whole operation. The reason that pastors can't ask for tithes and offerings right now because they've abused it so much over the years. Now people don't want to hear what you got to say. At the end of the day, people are like, look, I got to buy Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, and toast for my babies. So you going to have to wait. Period.
Let me say this.
So
I think I'm going to say this, and I want you to stay on the phone. I think that what is happening now is that some pastors can feel that they're losing the grip on the minds of people, that their spell is now broken. And now the government now is attempting to cast another spell on the people. So it's not a matter of them caring about the soul as far as their connection with God, but it's a matter of them losing a soul literally from their enchantment. That's what I think. And especially now they're out here on these social media streets, they're gonna come across my name. They're like, if they hear Larry Reid. I think, I'm going to say this now, there's a scientific reason why this is happening as relates to Korah. But the spiritual reason, I think from a throne room view, it was time for the church to reform herself. And I think
Larry,
And I think...
Here's the thing, Larry. There's a changing of the guard right now. There's a changing of the guard.
Okay.
And so what's happening is, and for some people, they better listen to what it's a warning, because God's moving you right off the way. He done had enough now. You done had your years of manipulating and keeping people from the throne room of God. See, that's the problem. God is warning some people, I need you to step aside now. And either you going to move or I'm going to move you for myself. And I don't think it's a thing for people to be scared because there's grace and mercy to be poured out in this situation. At this time with saints, get to know God for yourself. Go into your prayer closet, and I want them to hear me. You are not missing God because you were at home.
You're right.
He's there.
I agree.
Because in the Bible days, they didn't go to a church. It's wherever you met God.
Okay.
So the thing is, at the end of the day, like I said, I think that there is God is sending warning, and at the same time, God is bringing his people out of captivity. And then I see, and I'm going to drop this one, I see it's three people that God is telling them you need to move. It's three well-known people. God is telling them, I need you to move out the way because I'm bringing my people out. So the thing is, at the end of the day, people need to wake up and choose.
Yeah.
You have to choose God, or you have to choose the well-known pastor that you've been following for years, because some of them are leading you down the path of death.
And I think
that's it, Larry. I'm gonna leave it
thank you so much for calling in. I think what we're going to see after Corey is gone, we're going to look at the church, and the church is going to be, first of all, it's going to be updated, not antiquated, and really plugged into the world. Because if you're not online, you're not in line. I'm going to say that again. As a ministry, as a business owner, I'm going to say this, and really this is all free. This is my coaching kind of going on that I'm talking right now. Because if you're not online, you need to type this. If you're not online, you're not in line. You're not. And so as a church, I'm not accepting e-members. I'm not accepting people online. You're so out of line, antiquated, and outdated. Let's just think out loud. Now, this is what I call thinking out loud. I love my mentor who gave me this concept because I do this a lot, but I never will warn people before I get to doing it. So let me just think out loud. One of the reasons why I believe this is happening is because it's time for the church to reform. Also, there are some people that need to be out of the church business, that they need to cease to exist. There's some churches that are never going to come back out of this because they're missing the biggest day. Their biggest money day is Easter, the biggest money week, and they depend on that to exist. And some of those churches, we just don't need no more. They're not a help to the community. It's just a business for itself, plain and simple. And those sheep will find a pastor after God's own heart. Just thinking out loud. This is what I think. Also think about how the church will be caught up to meet him. Could it be that we were so in our four walls that we would never be able to meet him in the air? So he shut down the four walls. Now the church must meet in the air or meet God who's coming on a cloud, iCloud, air, the internet. Just play with these thoughts and just think for a little bit. Are we being pushed to the space that we should have already been in? Maybe we should have already been dominating on the World Wide Web as an evangelical people who are apostolic and prophetic, supposed to move around the world. Maybe we're being pushed now into our proper form. Maybe our proper form wasn't brick and mortar, but click and order. Maybe that's where we're supposed to dominate. Just thinking out loud. Was what LRL doing from 2016 to 2020 all about the number 4 is the number of order? Was it all about establishing or exposing the order that is not leading us into the future? Maybe that's what my job has been. Maybe this is my last year doing this. Maybe I was only supposed to do it 4 years, the number of order, to expose who is not leading us into the future, or an example of who is not supposed to lead the church into the future. Maybe. Just thinking out loud now. Don't go back and say that I said for sure. I'm just thinking out loud. The whole idea of the church using its funds to muzzle me or to drain the MBNNetwork platform $55,000+ now, all because I was saying what the prophets that been bought in the church couldn't say because they was on Caesar's payroll and I'm not. So I could say what needed to be said and say, no, you're a deadbeat daddy. They ain't got no business pastoring because you're not taking care of your children. No, you're not right. You lied to those women and you slept with all of them and led them on. You did molest and rape them. That didn't happen. It's on video. You been telling me on videos? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. You stole the money from the church mother. You did. It came out. Those court documents proving you are the daddy. So was that what my job was up to 2020? To really open the eye and give everybody 2020 vision as relates to what the church had became on the watch of the intercessors, mothers, and the prophets. So it took me out to bring a people out. And now it's shutting down the bull. And then out of it's going to come the house of honor again. I'm just thinking out loud. I ain't said, I'm just thinking out loud. Just thinking out loud. All right, let's take some more calls. Call it in the 6068. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
My name is Aunt Dia.
Hey there.
Calling from Hawaii.
All right, Aunt Dia.
Yes. I'm sick of these churches. I'm tired of them, Larry.
Okay.
It's a mess. It's a mess. You got these pastors doing all this ruthless, and just what you said, God is shutting them down. They need to be shut down. It's sad. It's like you said, the molestation in the churches, the men sleeping with men, and the women sleeping with the women, and the men sleeping with the members of the church. They need to be shut down. And if they got less than 35 members, close it. If they just starting up, I can see that. But if you've been open for 20 years and you got 35 members, something wrong with your anointing.
I get what you said.
You got 35 members and you having a 25-year anniversary. Go sit down somewhere. That's all I got to say, Larry. I'm just mad. I'm angry. Love you, Larry.
I love you too.
Bye.
Oh my God. Thank you, Cece. Cece, I don't know if you want me to tell what you sent. Thank you, Cece. The MBNNetwork thanks you. Thank you, Gwinnett. Thank you, Bernadette. Thanks, Cece. Okay. And I missed some super chats. I'm so sorry, you guys. But remember, when you do the super chats, YouTube take 30% off the top. I would happen to say, I'm just sick. I'm just sick and tired. Now, I'm going to say this. If you have 35 members and your church been going on for 20 years, those 35 members better be some game changers. They should have came at you one way and now at a whole nother level. They've been near about $100,000 ads or millionaires. You know, that's different. If you got them 35 members in your church, but it's an operation, and I mean, that's doing stuff around the world. I get what she's saying, because it ain't really about the number. What she's saying, if you've not been effective, then, and you just running the muck, cutting the monkey shine, then go about your business. All right, let's go. Call it in and then 0184. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hi, this is Geneva. I'm calling from Jacksonville. Larry, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good. How you doing, Kendall? I love you, Kendall.
Love you
okay.
too.
Oh, okay. Listen, this is what I have to say. I totally agree. I'm not going to repeat what other callers said, but I totally agree with the fact that because Karn said it on a global platform, he should have been corrected on a global platform. And then another thing I want to bring out is that you can't correct people in a tone that you're unwilling to accept correction in. And then the last thing I want to say is I've watched your show now for a while now, and I have kind of fought a calling, and because I've watched your show, it has transitioned my mind to push me into my calling. And I want to say I really do appreciate God for having this platform, and as my mentor from afar, because I believe you don't have to be in somebody's face for them to mentor you. You can get what you need by just watching their life.
Yeah, true.
Larry, don't ever let nobody pull you in no foolishness.
Oh, okay.
Because people like me are connected to you. We love you, and we're learning from you.
Okay.
And I thank God for you birthing me accepting my call. I just wanted to say that on air.
Wow. Thank you very much. I would have never known.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good night.
All right. I did hear somebody tell me this. Listen, Reid, you better not go off and then go crazy, said, because we watching you. I said, what you mean? I said, y'all got past we watching, we in your Patreon, we in your MBN, we watching every little thing you do, reading and everything on you. So, okay, I hear that. That's interesting. Okay, next caller. Caller ending in 2150. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Queen from Broadway, New Jersey. Larry, I love you. I love your platform. And I want to tell people, God gives you a sound mind. You can't be going with this corona, V19 or whatever. You can't go in and be around people that's coughing, you don't know what they got. That's number one. Number two, if you had been in a church which was Bible preaching, Bible teaching, that is now digital, pastors wouldn't have to worry because you've taught the people tithes and offering. So when the digital comes on, you know that they've already got it up to push pay, PayPal, Willy, Zilly, Willy, Hooly, whatever, but they have it and you're going to give.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me that I should assemble to die. You don't know who has the virus in there.
Let me say this.
This is not a joke.
Let me
This
say.
is serious.
Let me say this to you, and I know I'm coming to what you're saying, but I might forget it. Let's think out loud. Could it be that people that have been given their tithe and their offering have been given it under a spell, under heavy influence of the Hammond, of the singing, of the sound of the pastor's voice, of him standing up there in the pulpit, telling them to give it, passing out the envelope. They've been forced to perform the tithe and perform the offering, and they really were never taught about the laws of giving and the laws of reciprocity. Could it be that? And could it be that coming there like a crack addict, getting a high, under the influence of a hallucinogen, has angered God, and God has allowed, not caused, but allowed corona, so that men are no longer led to certain houses of slaughter or houses of death. Just thinking out loud. So don't nobody judge me. I'm just thinking out loud. Could this be a part of the rebirth and the reform of the church that used to have, so we can see the church that used to have the power, and we see the choirs come back. We see the real praise breaks come back, real preachers and real prophets. Could this be that moment that we all been waiting for, but it just looked like this? All right, you can finish your
I agree.
Okay.
Well, I want to agree with you. But if you've been to, I don't know how to put this, but if you've been sitting there, and like you say, when it's time for the giving and everything, and the passing the envelopes around, you don't know if that person is tithing or not. That's number one.
You don't.
What you have to realize is that if you sat there and you've read and you've listened, you know the teachings of the tithing and the offerings. You know that if you give, it really is true. It comes back to you pressed down, shaken together, and running
it's
over.
True. It's true.
I have been to a little church, a medium-sized church, and now I'm in a mega church.
Mm.
I have learned from the little church and the medium-sized church that one time they called for an offering and they needed $10,000. They took up the collection. The next Sunday, nobody said how much they collected, and nobody knew where the money went. But then you go to another church where the true man of God is and has taught you really what it is to give. And you see where the money is going to. He's not driving a fancy car. He don't have a $900,000 house.
Mm.
Okay? And everything goes to where it's supposed to go to.
Well, that's integrity.
You don't mind giving.
Yeah, that's integrity.
And digital.
Yeah, and digital.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Praise God. And digital.
Yeah.
Digital, where Sunday came, you saw if you got an iPhone or phone or laptop or iPad, you're there. I mean, you get the same feel. God preached on a rock. And like you say, it's time to come out the four walls.
Yeah, it's been time.
It's time to go stand in the parking lot.
I'm not gonna say.
Well,
let me let you go. 'Cause I'm letting you go too long. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. But I'm not gonna say go away from the four walls or come out. But I'm gonna say I can't say go beyond or be an extension of. And I think without this happening, for most people, it would have never happened. Now, one thing that the caller did say, she said, if you've been taught and if you know, but the reality is a lot of people that are tithing and giving, and I think I had a great 20 years pastor and great members, but the reality is most of them were doing it because I asked them to as I stood there. It was not between them and God at all. Because then they would have continued to do it as I was in the digital space, even when I told them not to do it anymore. There were people I told not to do it anymore that still did it. And it's because it was between them and God. I was trying to end the church and get them out of the mindset of, me pastoring them. I'm going full into entertainment, and some still did. They said, no, you're my man of God. They still did. But most people, that's not what the case is. And let me say this, because I see some people in the comments saying, well, tithing is not something for, 2020. It's done away in the old covenant. Okay, let me say this to you. And I hope that you hear me say this and you don't take it a certain kind of way. If you don't tithe and you don't tithe because you don't believe it's biblical and applicable now, then don't. You can even say why you don't. But do not make other people wrong for tithing. It's like how the people do on these platforms trying to tell you, don't give to this person's platform. Don't you sign up for Patreon. Oh, why y'all paying for receipts or whatever. Then don't you do it. If you're not doing it, why are you concerned? Man shouldn't be sleeping with man. Woman shouldn't be sleeping with woman. Don't you have a whole husband and you are a cisgender woman? Why is you in somebody else's bed? If that's what you believe you want to do, then you stay with that nigga. If that nigga wants to sleep with that nigga and that girl wants to sleep with that girl, that's them. You can say what you feel and what you believe is proper and what is right, but then don't try to make somebody else do what you do. So I say this to the person, I only saw one person that said that. Then don't tithe, don't give, don't sow. But for Larry going to be doing teruma to his personal prophet, to his worthy priest. Going to be doing the tithe to wherever I feel like I need to do it, and I have been doing it faithfully. And then the other breakdown that I see biblically, I give portion to the poor and things of that nature. That's what I'm going to do, and it works for me. And you can't tell somebody who been tithing and giving and experiencing the press down, shaking together, running over, tell them to stop. They ain't nothing you can do to make them stop, because they done seen it. But the reality is a lot of you have not seen the blessing of God on your life, because number one, your tithing and giving system is just wrong. And I said number one, but really the number one is you're putting it in the wrong person's hand or the wrong church hand. It's not good ground. So you're not going to see the blessing of God. If you got a great church and they shut down and they can't be online and you can't go to their church, continue to be faithful and do it online and support, because the church has a business side. And just like all the rest of these businesses, they need a bailout. So they need the members to support and continue to support just like you were there. If there's a part of you that feel like you shouldn't because you're not there, there's something on the line. Because either you've not been tithing and giving from the right spot, or you've been giving it to the wrong spot. And now this is your opportunity to wake up out of sleep and see what's up and restructure some things financially. Maybe where you've been giving ain't been the proper place. So I think I'm good. You think we're done, or should we take some more calls?
Did you talk about the scientific and the spiritual?
Oh, I talked about the spiritual, but the scientific reason for all of this happening, it's the natural, it happens some scientists say every 20 to 40 years, and some say every 100 years. And then there's some that believe that it's the universe, the earth, replenishing itself and healing itself by moving some of us out the way. Because they say that the dolphins have returned back to certain parts of the waters that they were not in, and that some of the toxins that are normally released on a daily, certain level daily, that they're not being released in the cities. So it's certain things that is happening in other parts of the earth that it looks like the earth is healing itself. And this just happened in 2 or 3 weeks with, just a few of our biggest cities not producing the level of pollution that they have been producing. So there's a whole lot of ways of looking at what's happening now. There's a whole lot of different ways. Somebody says scientists don't know ish. Lord Jesus. If you want to give offerings, your church, it's your business, but giving tithe to a church is illegal. Okay, that's interesting.
Who said that?
I don't know, but that's very interesting. I don't know what world that's coming from, but I haven't found that at all. Don't see no law supporting that or what. I don't know what they mean by that. Okay, listen, I'm gonna take another couple more calls. I just feel like it, because I don't think I gotta go on that other show because they ain't text me back. Call in at 8193. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hey, this is Keena from Jackson, Mississippi.
Hey there.
And I was just calling about PBJ.
Okay.
And actually, he should not have thrown shade at the pulpit.
Okay.
There are things that you do in time and in order. Yes, he should have been rebuked in public, but that was not the time or the place. And you just don't throw a rock at a son. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So And this whole, I was listening to the callers and the digital churches, and I do feel like right now we need to shut it down. Stay at your house. I've been posting this on Facebook. Let me pull it up. Isaiah 26:20. Go home, my people. Lock your doors.
Oh, yeah.
Hide yourselves
Until my
unto the Lord,
indignation
amen.
pass over. Yeah. Yeah. I know that
This
text.
is our time to go home, to get in our homes and guard our children and pray over our children and our family members. Church starts at home. I tithe a lot, and I give my offerings, and I do it digitally. Now, my home church, they are still having church. Yes, they are. But Salem Baptist Church in Chicago are not. They're closed. But they had a really good digital service Sunday. And every day they're coming every day with a digital service. So there are digital platforms out there. And the church is just going to have to restore itself. Just like the planet is restoring itself, the church is going to have to do that same restoration.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Martin Luther 2020,
Yeah, I got you.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you so much for calling in. All right, let's take another caller. Caller in and in 3470. What's your name? Where you calling from? You got 1 minute.
Hey, what's going on, Larry?
Hey there.
Larry, man, this is my take. I think we just in a season when it comes to the church, because we specifically talking about the church. I've been in church all my life. And I do video editing, say for instance, or whatever. So yesterday, last week I helped a church with their particular video stuff. And the pastor told me, he's a great guy and all. He told me, he said, man, I don't know how to, I got to get in my element to do it without a crowd or whatever. And this is my take on that. I think that the major problem has become that we have performers and not producers when it comes to the preachers.
Whoa.
And that's all that's happening. If we just be honest, we got people that have been taught to perform. You know how to hoop. You know how to excite a crowd, if you will, physically from a first-person aspect. But there's no production. There's no production because they don't teach faith. They just teach, feeling, emotional movement and stuff. There's not faith being taught. And that's the whole issue. It really is. I come from a background where I've seen people heal. I still do from the pastors who I'm directly under. I see people heal. I see people set free. I come from in fact, I was there. I know this goes back when you talked about the Jackson sisters. I'm their producer. So I was there when you came. I was there when you came to church.
Wait, that's in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, huh?
So that was in the 90s.
Yeah, so I know where it comes from because who I worked under for years.
Whoa.
So I've seen it for real. You know what I mean? Where some people talk about seeing it, I've seen it for real.
Yeah, I have too. All right, thank you so much for calling in, man. Thanks.
Hey, man, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's interesting. He said that because didn't Jordan say when he was on? Now, mind you, everybody's talking about he was a false prophet. Make sure you go back and see everything that he said in that live that began to happen like not even 48 hours later. I'm talking about Bishop Bernard Jordan, E. Bernard Jordan, Master Prophet Jordan. Go back and watch that. That should be in the live. You ain't got nothing to do no way. Ain't but an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours and 1 minute. And the first part, so you ain't got to watch but like 40 minutes of it when he talked about this pandemic. Because mind you, it was the media that called it the pandemic. We were calling it pandemic before they even declared it. And then he came on the show the same day they declared it. And he began to read from his book 20 years ago that predicted all of this Maybe I shouldn't use the word predicted. Yeah, so go back and check that out. He said what the caller just said. He said that they will have to, a lot of preachers are performers and athletes are performers. They perform for the crowd, and we will see those people who are performers and they really aren't dedicated to the job. He saw arenas where people playing, but there was nobody in the stands, and preachers that didn't have, an audience, something of that nature. But it's all in there. So that's that. I didn't hear back from being on that other show, so I guess I ain't gonna be on that other show. But I'm gonna let you guys go. There are a lot of churches that are feeding people now. I saw Jamal Harrison Bryant's church is feeding people. New Birth. You drive up there, open your trunk, they put the food in there, they ain't got to touch nobody there. Also see where is John P. Key a bishop, or he still just John P. Key? That's gonna always be Jesus is real. He looked like a bishop. No, bishops, they're told with a certain kind of voice. He got a bishop voice. We're going to call him Bishop John P. Key. Can't we call him that? Bishop John P. Key?
Yeah, I think he's bishop.
Yeah, we're going to call him bishop. He's ordained a bishop like we did Dennis Martin. He's a bishop now. He's been doing this thing too many years in North Carolina. Why ain't nobody gave him no bishopric? I know Bishop John P. Key Church, they're feeding people, but they've been doing this for years. John P. Key and them is one big old outreach. Pay everybody bill, take care of every darn body. He's been doing this for so many years. You go to his concert broke, you liable to leave with $1,000. He done gave it to you out the blue. Come here. I like the way you were praising him tonight, and I'm just gonna give you $1,000 because you know how to praise God. Is he having a concert? I need to go do my Baptist fit. I got one. So John P. Key pay my light bill. If you in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, if John P. Key having a church, because his church big enough to where he can still do, they say less than how many? 100 people? And they sit spaced out. Get there early, call me and save me a seat so I can drive there and sit in your seat. And I'm going to praise God till I leave there with $2,500. I'm going to pray. Jesus is real. I'm going to call all his hits. Oh, we walk by faith and not by sight. He's a lily in the valley, bright as the morning star. I do worship. Hallelujah. I'm going to a separate, I'm going to get all my budget met. That one service, I'm going to praise him. I'm going to praise him that one service until it all come through. Anyway, we're going to keep these men to God in prayer and pray for them as they're wading the waters of the Korah and being what they are to the bodies of the Christ. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely done. Thank you so much. Put the Cash App up there. LarryReidLive, do all the giving aspects. Thank you so much. Cannot monetize this possibly. Hopefully YouTube will slip through one of the robots. But whenever they told us, all content creators, that they're going to be a certain kind of way, even on Facebook, those of us that have monetized Facebook pages, because of us talking about the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, that they're going to be doing some shifted kind of going on. But in the way, I'm going to still stay devoted to the conversation that we have here. Absolutely. And I just ask so kindly that if you like the platform and you like what we do, support us on tonight. Get the app. Some of you telling me you still having some kind of funky stuff going on, but they said they fixing it, so there ain't no money owed. So they fixing it and they getting it together. I'm so glad. It's like I was moving in the future. Took my kids out and a school and put them in the online private school. I got this app. I got my site together. Like I was being in the future concerning where we're at now. I love each and every last one of you guys. Stay paper Bible saved. Although you is in the house, stay paper Bible saved. I guess on some level, most everybody gonna have digital saved in their life quite a bit because they got to get the word over. But you better keep that paper Bible. Keep that paper Bible. All right. Go back and read Isaiah 26, 1 through 20. Ain't that what she just told us? That 20th verse. Stay shut up in the house while the Lord's indignation pass over. My God. All right. See you later. Goodbye.
There ain't nowhere else I wanna be. Oh, boy.